Em muito pouco tempo, pode-se perder o controlo, com consequências dramáticas. Chegaram os novos episódios de Destruído em Segundos. Às segundas-feiras às 22h10, só no Discovery. Aperte o cinto. Agarre-se bem, porque a espera acabou. E isto é apenas o princípio. Chegaram os novos episódios de Caçadores de Mitos. Os nossos rapazes atrevem-se a tudo. Uma viagem que não vai querer perder. Aos sábados às 22h10, só no Discovery.
The reason I want to save this planet is really simple. I have a daughter and I have family that will carry on. And I want that life ahead, whether I'm in it or not, to be a better place, not a lesser place.
Fred Ferguson wants to help free the world from fossil fuels. His aerial turbine works, but is it a real solution? Looking for answers, Basil travels to meet with Christina Archer, a leading authority on high-altitude wind power.
Generally, wind speed increases with height. If you can get high, then you get so much power that you can power humanity 100 times over.
Fred Ferguson believes that by making 1.1 million of his turbines over the next 100 years, we could mitigate global warming.
To see what kind of difference they'd make, Professor Archer uses computer climate models, created for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. If global warming continues unchecked, a 3-degree rise in temperatures would hit us hard north of the equator.
Note how it's mostly in the northern hemisphere that we will be seeing changes, especially over North America and Asia as well.
Crop yields in Europe, Russia and America would fall for the first time since the Industrial Revolution, threatening millions of people with starvation. But what would happen if 1.1 million aerial turbines went into service, each producing 1.5 megawatts of electricity? That barely equals the present output of 1,000 coal-burning power plants.
If 1,000 coal power plants made a difference in the climate, we would have already screwed up the whole planet 100 years ago.
But if production of aerial turbines were increased to 9.5 million, the model reveals a more positive impact.
That would be the equivalent of something like 15,000 coal-fired power plants. That will probably save 85% of our current CO2 emissions.
So let's put the next model up, which is installing about 9.5 million turbines, and see what effect that has.
The model shows only a 2-degree increase in temperature, putting the world back into the safety zone, and more.
It's about a third less of what it used to be if we didn't do any mitigation. But also, with that 10 million turbines, you can probably cover all electricity needs for humanity, all current needs.
What these models don't take into account is logistics. Helium is extracted from natural gas in just a handful of commercial facilities around the world. So, extracting enough for the huge fleet of aerial turbines envisioned by Fred Ferguson would present a major challenge. To inflate and maintain 9.5 million turbines, we'd need to produce 430 billion cubic meters of helium over the next 100 years. That's 25 times the current production rate. And some scientists have concerns about deploying our resources literally.
If you think that wind turbines on the Earth are expensive, think about what a wind turbine up in the atmosphere is likely to cost. It's just almost impossible to imagine that in the time scale that we have, that is the next 50 years, that this is going to become economical anytime soon.
Others believe we can't afford to ignore radical alternatives, as our consumption of fossil fuels goes on and global warming continues unchallenged.
prevent carbon dioxide emissions requires a total revolution in our energy systems, and it's something that we need to do not just in one country, but throughout the world. There's enough energy in high-altitude winds to power civilization 100 times over. And sooner or later, we're going to learn to tap into the power of the winds and use it to run civilization.
If it would work right, you could guarantee that it would safely send the energy down. You could guarantee that when the wind stopped, it wouldn't crash to the ground. Extracting energy from the wind is a good idea. The question is what the technology is.
The way we power our civilization now threatens to undo it. Until world economies make real progress to end the use of fossil fuels, geoengineering projects on the Earth, in the skies, on the oceans, and in space offer us options based on scientific research. But the only way to turn research into potential solutions is to take these revolutionary plans off the drawing board and put them on the table.
Bye.